Hi there, Trisha here, and I wanted to go over the two trades that I took today. I only traded this morning, I didn't trade this afternoon. I trade two setups, one off a longer tick chart if it sets up and we drill down and we get our setup on the smaller tick chart, and then I have a scalp trade setup that I use off a smaller tick chart. So this is the first trade that I took today. It was at about 11:09 this morning, and we had our scalp trade setting up, and all of our charts and indicators were in alignment. We have divergence on our indicator, and I would actually like to enter in over this bar. I put in a market order and actually got filled on this bar here with the second arrow at 904 and a quarter, and I used the pivot lows to trail my stop. I don't have the dots on this chart because I haven't found anything in e-signal that I particularly care for, so I'm just eyeballing it at this point. So I actually got stopped out over here where this circle is up in the upper right hand corner based on this pivot low here at 908.50 for a gain of 4 and a quarter. The next trade that I took was another scalp setup, and it occurred at about 10:32 this morning. And again, have divergence on our indicator. We have our scalp trade setting up. All our charts and indicators are in alignment. So I actually want to enter in over this bar here where the first arrow is, and I get filled on this bar here using a market order. Excuse me. I get filled at 910.75. Trail stop out at 912 over here using this pivot low as my stop. Now, if you're trading more than one contract, everything that I am telling you is based on trading one contract and trail stopping, using a trail stop method for your exits. Now, if you're trading more than one contract, typically I scale out. So I will take a third at +2, a third at +4, and then the final third I will trail out and move it as the price moves. I always set my stop at 2 points, and once I get my +2 on the first third, I move my stop on my final 2/3 to my entry point. So now the worst that can happen is I've just made +2 on a third of my contracts and stopped at break even basically on the other 2/3. Once I get my +4, then I will go ahead and move my stop on the remaining third to +2, and then on that final third I'll just trail stop out. So on this particular trade here, if you were exiting in that particular fashion, you would have got your +2 and then trail stopped out at 1 and a quarter on your remaining contracts. So it just really depends on how many contracts you're trading. It does get easier to take profits when you are trading more than one contract, because when you're just trading one contract and using the trail method, here you are, like this is a perfect example, you got a profit of 1 and a quarter, whereas if you were trading more than one contract, you would have at least gotten 2 points on part of your position. Oftentimes when you are trading just one contract, you might want to just take your +2 and exit until you are able to trade more contracts or comfortable trading more contracts. Really, that is just your own personal style, what you're going to like to do. That's totally going to be up to you. This is a short scalp that was setting up, and I'm showing it because really it didn't set up. You can see we have divergence here on our indicator, but it's not coming from overbought territory. So, I don't consider that a quality trade. Also, this is on the smaller tick chart. If you go to our smaller minute chart here, you could see where the circle is. This is where the price action was on the smaller tick chart that I was just showing you, and it hasn't come down below this 50% mark using our Fibonacci retracement lines. So technically it's not in a downtrend. So in my opinion, it wasn't a high odds trade. Occasionally when you do see the divergence like that, even though it isn't coming from overbought territory, if it looks like it's going to be a really good trade, I have to admit sometimes I will jump in a trade even though it's not setting up 100% the way I like it. But in that case, you have more than one thing going against you in our criteria. So, not a high odds trade there. It would have worked out, obviously, but you can see here when you got to the 50% mark, it just kind of, all congested and came to a standstill for a while. So, yeah, it would have worked, but, you don't know that ahead of time. It's always easy to look back at charts and entries and say, well, gosh, that would have worked. But, at the time, of course, you don't ever know that. So anyway, those are the two trades that I took today. Both were scalp trades. The first one was for a gain of 4 1/4. The second one for a gain of 1 1/4. For a total of 5 1/2 gain. We did have a setup occur on the longer tick chart, but when we drilled down, the entry did not materialize on our smaller tick chart, so that did not happen. So anyway, those are the two trades I took today, and you can go to www.easyeminitrade.com and check out the setups.